TT on the blue side going to ban away the Elise and that Corki, while BLG on the other side, it's that signature scar in her ban, but the Nidalee also going to join the table. Silas banned by TT. They do not want to deal with that. I expect Yone, maybe?
Kalista or Yone. Yeah, Kalista or Yone is surely... Unless you leave those open and decide to take them for yourself, it's got to be one of those, but you can't remove both of them, and both would be very strong at the moment. That being said, do ThunderTalk really want to pick themselves up Kalista blind first pick? It's a little bit of a risk. There are still things you can try to pick up into it right here. Hoppy, okay. Yone
right.
First pick.
This is why
risky.
I love the current meta, because half the time when you get out of the badge, you're like, waiting to see what horror thing is going to drop in the draft. Like, what's going to make it through? There's so many choices.
Yeah, I mean, I've been loving the Fearless as well so far, especially once you get into the depths of these series. It's been banned so much, and clearly BLG are worried about SeTab on it right here. SeTab hasn't really had that level of pop-off performance that we were really hoping to see from him throughout this series. He's been good in their win, but otherwise...
It's a trap.
Nothing too much. Wow. Immediately, the response is going to be the Rumble and the Sejuani here.
I mean, it has to be expected. Like, if you're going to let a champion through like Yone, who I deem as a free win condition at this point, because we've seen Yone's get nothing for a quarter of the game, all of a sudden get a couple items, they win the game.
Yeah.
So you have to have an answer. The Rumble, the Sejuani, a great start to the combo, but I want to see more. We do get a little bit more aggression in that 2v2 bot lane, though, with the Caitlyn for 1xN. I like this a lot.
Caitlyn and the Karma. Now, this is our bot lane again that I feel like BLG, they're going to want to swap their way out of. It's kind of miserable to play into these champions. The level of poke you can get is just insane, but it does also mean that BLG now, they've got free reign to pick themselves up a little bit of a counter in the bot lane if they want it. If you want to go super aggressive, you potentially can. I was going to say, there are things like the Draven and potentially the Lucian available to you here. Now, that is, again, throwing the gauntlet down. It could be. It could be.
I feel like Lucian would hurt so bad to play in that bot lane 2v2 is all I'm saying. We could play with that flexibility, but still some options available there.
Yeah, definitely. And keeping your options open right now is big. I mean, other than the Sejuani, you can move these champions around pretty freely overall. I mean, I've seen the Rumble in the support role recently. You know, anything can happen at this point. ThunderTalk, though, what do they want to take off of the board? Because right now they've got themselves a ton of poke, and like you said, the kind of free win condition that Yone can be, but they're very squishy. We've said this a couple times throughout these series. Without the level of tankiness to face check into brushes to get you that setup around these objectives, it can be pretty hard to play them out. And taking the Nautilus off the board themselves, interesting choice.
Yeah. Just take away that option of multi-chaining CC that BLG are obviously looking for here. I still think there's some options to ban down in that top lane matchup. TT still having yet to get that for Hoya, so I expect that to potentially be the focus for BLG. It is going to be the Scion, so okay, hey, he said they were going to do some research. He said they were going to watch some games. There you go. They did it. Let's go, BLG.
Yeah, I love that. Oh, man.
If you don't know what we're talking about, BLG needed to watch Hoya's game. You need to respect his game.
I mean, hey, to be fair, Bin has had a great performance in the last 2 games. Pretty quiet in game 1, popped off in the next 2. Really nice Jax game. So if it is going to be a Rumble game for him right here, another support taken off the board on getting a lot of respect in this situation. So what do you take right here? Do you grab yourself a support to put alongside potentially the Lucian? Or are you going to show that, no, this isn't actually going to be a Lucian in the bot lane right now at all?
I'm letting Knight cook for this one. I'm here for it. I'm here for mostly I'm here for it because I want to see us go to game 5. The Kalista is going to be that dual-pronged double marksman composition for BLG, something they did very well last year when it was the bread and butter.
Oh yeah, and this is the sort of game where you look at it and go, Frozen Heart feeling mighty fine at this point if we can afford the spare cash. Why do you respond into this, right? Because Kalista isn't really going to want to play into this bot lane particularly. This is going to be a good lane still for the Caitlyn Karma. You can poke it out relatively easily. And so, depending on what the support is, do you really want to sit in this lane potentially at all? It's going to be the Wukong picked up right here for Beichuan. I think one of the better junglers that he's played so far.
I also love giving the guy comfort. I mean, it's his second most played. It has a ton of setup CC for the Caitlyn and the Yone. you get even more of that here from Hoya, would be awesome to see for them. And they're very team fight focused with this one, with that cannon locked in. We'll see what the answer is going to be. We'll see what the support setup is going to be for BLG and On.
Hey, if you're going to go out right here as ThunderTalk, you better go out swinging. And that is the kind of team comp that they've got for themselves. Expecting a support right here. This would actually change the dynamic of this bot lane massively if you end up in this 2v2. And it is going to be the Pantheon support locked in right here. All of a sudden, you actually can play this bot lane. You have to sit quite far back to not get poked out constantly, but you've got a situation where you can jump forwards with a lot of aggression and potentially get some 2v2 kills.
The fact that we get a game where we were asking for more fireworks bot lane, more focus down there, and this is what we get. We get 2 lane killing setups from both sides of things. This new age bot lane molded from JDG's LDL squad in What Extended Feather, going against, I would say, the heartthrobs, the what everybody looks to for consistency in Elk and On for BLG, who've come up through their system over the last couple of years. I'm ready to watch this 2v2 unfold.
Yeah, let's see it. Let's see it. Can the new kids on the block really take On over? Hey, if this is the game you do it in, it's a legendary one at that. BLG, so much to play for. Moving on, next opponent. They've constantly got to be looking forwards, but they can't overlook ThunderTalk in front of them right now.
They cannot. This team that has been born again, I guess, and born alive here in this new format that we have in the LPL, claiming first in their group. Nobody knew or nobody thought they would make it that way. They made it. They do lose in that first round, but now they're facing up against their old rivals in BLG, a classic rematch that TT is trying to recreate here. BLG have dominated 2 games in a row. TT on the back foot. It's a game number 4. It's do or die for the ThunderTalk dream, and BLG are alive and well.
Let's see, do we get silver scrapes? Do we get another game number 5? Last time around, ThunderTalk, they were able to come out on top. We're actually going to get all 5 of ThunderTalk down in this bottom side of the map right now. Elk On, they're going to spot out at least Hoya, but they don't know necessarily that he's got friends in the area.
Friends? I like friends. See if they actually want to find any more friends. Might be spotted out here. There is a ward there.
Yeah, if they step up too far, they get spotted and this play fizzles out.
This is the most intense moment this entire series. Could cut the tension like a butter knife with a butter knife. No, I don't think it.
I think we're all gonna recall, to be honest. But I'll be interested to see who recalls out. Do we get another swap? They staying?
They're staying. Dude, I mean, this is some trickster stuff. Like, hey, you know, somebody might walk through. Okay, they decide to back.
Now they finally decide not to. Now, yeah, you've moved really late at this point, right? Like,
oh wait, actually get caught.
Unbelievably late.
Oh, no!
Oh no!
Oh no! 1xN! It can't happen like this! You were the chosen one! Maybe they actually turned it around. They got night coming. Flash is coming through. Is Elk the one to fall? The fact that both ADCs are getting so low. Oh my god!
No way!
1xN doesn't get it. It's taken by On. First blood, second blood. BLG! They're coming alive with game number 4. And Knight's looking for more. A double kill early on for the golden left hand of BLG. SeTab can't even get it. It's a triple kill.
No. Oh no. ThunderTalk, they needed some trickery perhaps to get a win versus BLG, but that's not gonna be the opening to a match point elimination game that they wanted right here. Oh, the second they walk into this bush, it should be over already. 1xN just about manages to live long enough to flash over this wall, and there's a chance, right? Beichuan has the level 2, but
I'm just going to say 1xN is so unfortunate he does not get the kill here. The fact that Elk survives because he got that, like, it is actually insane. How is this 2 times in a row that 1xN is literally 1 shot away from making the biggest play?
Yep. I was literally just about to say that. We saw it in the previous game where he accidentally auto-attacks a ward and causes a cascade of bad things to happen. And the fact that it's a triple kill that goes over, you can see the emotion from everybody.
Coach is like, hell yeah.
Let's go.
That's it.
I love it when my opponents walk into me and die. SeTab's.
Oh no, again.
Oh
Knife.
no.
He's got a vice grip with his golden left hand on this series, and he's got SeTab in a chokehold.
This feels like the BLG game we were expecting. We're also going to see fighting in the bot lane on. Very aggressive right here. He doesn't need to back up in a lot of these situations. Could just keep pressing the advantage here. But I mean, how much does it really matter right now? ThunderTalk, you need tons of kills bot lane, tons of kills top lane to stop the fact that, yeah, that mid lane is looking rough. Knight is in such a good spot.
And finally, I mean, the Galio game, cool, good, awesome. Knight is taking this series in his hand just like he did so many times before in 2024 in their back-to-back championship. This guy is the GOAT of mid lane right now. One more championship, he will be defined as the GOAT of the LPL. And the fact that in a game 4, he is the one pulling them up with a 4-0 start on Lucian, that's what you love to see.
Yeah, this is the start of dreams right here for BLG. Now let's see what they can do to transition this into increasing the lead, keeping themselves ahead right here. I mean, you've got the Drake bottom side, a lot of aggression right here from BLG around this lane. Way potentially looking for a gank, I think spotted out, so unlikely to be able to actually get the kill. But still, with Drake spawning in a couple of seconds time and both of the junglers in the area, we could see a scrap at this point. I just wonder how much ThunderTalk would want to scrap anywhere near where Knight is, because if he can roam down, especially if he can roam down first, which it looks like he's going to be able to, constantly pushing SeTab in, then these team fights are almost automatically won.
This might be the physical definition of aura. You just don't want to walk around. Like, I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
You just don't. If you see him on your screen, you walk away.
Walk away.
And the thing is you can't really do that in this state of what League of Legends is now. There are so many objectives. There are so many scaling factors. So many things that you need to be scooping up. And those objectives, they're coming up.
Yeah, once those objectives start, once that first 6-minute reprieve goes, it just continues on, constantly needing to fight. And the Lucian, we weren't certain about it if it was going to be in the bot lane. It would have had a pretty tough time versus the long poke that you get out of ThunderTalk's bot lane, but in the mid lane, it's so free to constantly be pushing in SeTab. You're in a range versus melee matchup, sure, Yone can get pretty aggressive, but you're not really too worried about it, and you can roam to these objectives so easily.
It makes it easy. And TT, they'll buy their time. They'll look to try to get something later down the line. They'll look to try to contest that next spawn of grubs. They won't even try to get a cross-map play here because they weren't in position for that dragon setup. And it's just trying to figure out what works for them. It would be so sad for TT to go out like this with all the joy, all the awesome stories and moments we've seen from this team so far in this split, for that miracle run to come to an end. But BLG are looking like an unstoppable nightmare here, and they are looking to continue to make plays. I mean, they even have On going towards topside right now.
Yeah, they are just moving people around, looking for as many different places to exert pressure on this map as possible, especially with the Pantheon. You do so much damage at base early on that your addition to any of these ganks is so much. You know, Leona gets into a gank, she gives a lot of CC, but you're not exactly dealing massive damage. Very different for the Pantheon right here. Of course, with this bot lane up in the top side, it should unlock this Drake to be pretty open, pretty free for ThunderTalk. Right now, they're looking for the dive.
Okay, they got Ben caught out under turret, and he's going to be able to get tanked down, so he goes down. Beichuan takes the kill, and that's a big reprieve for TT.
And giving it over to Beichuan, I wonder if potentially you want it to go onto 1xN, get this Caitlyn ahead. At the same time, your Wukong is so much of the engage potential of your composition. You really need it to work in tandem with the top and mid lane. So I don't mind him picking up the kill. And now ThunderTalk, as we were saying, have full control around this Drake Pier. Can potentially just start that one up. Right now, though, they're looking to just loot away whatever they can, as they don't end up picking up this Drake for at least a little while.
We're seeing BLG try to get that cross-map play going through here. Try to get as many plates going. TT gonna do just the same. TT looked to take some enemy jungle camps instead of going for that early dragon there.
It's
and honestly,
BLG
Caitlyn
if they
does
get
pretty
first
good.
strike.
Yep, exactly.
And they're much quicker at it. I think they can
It is a king. Oh.
get them. I really don't know. You
It's
should.
coming down the neck. Okay, well, I think it's
should be
BLG win that 100%.
It should be BLG who are able to pick this one up, and that's going to be the feats immediately going over to them. Yeah, that's going to be a big victory right here. It's just easier to grab these early plates off of the top lane when you're in a much stronger position overall.
Bloxer. I'm disgusted. Knight got his Kraken Slayer at like 8 minutes and 20 seconds or something along those lines. That might be the earliest Kraken Slayer I've ever seen.
It's definitely one of them. I mean, that's an insane number to get that full item, and that's a huge part of what you're trying to do as the Lucian. The Lucian really pops off at about 2 items, but the Kraken Slayer is a big part of that. It's going to help him weave through these team fights a little bit easier as well, and yeah, Knight is just dealing horrific amounts of damage. Interestingly enough, the Drake doesn't actually go down. Lots of vision has been set up around the area for ThunderTalk, but they've not decided to take this one yet.
I see it there on the gold. I mean, honestly, I'm surprised. 1xN is like 600 gold behind Knight. Like that's impressive. For 4 kills to go over early tonight to still be that close to him as 1xN. I like that for TT just because Caitlyn can do wonders into a Lucian with the max amount of range that she does have. Now, when we're looking at this game setup, we have 40 seconds for grubs. There's a TP, double TP, one from each team coming on bot side, as you'll have the joining of SeTab and Bin. Oh, SeTab, he needs to find an exit strategy. He hits the fate seal, but it might be his own fate, and he's going to toss over another kill tonight, potentially here. Oh, he can't get the piercing light, but maybe, just maybe, the harpoon. No, it's the flamethrower that he whips out and takes SeTab's life.
And that's going to be a kill around this Drake, so BLG, they can turn this one into bot lane pressure, they can turn this one into a Drake, kind of whatever they choose. Wei isn't in the area yet, was too busy farming Camp's top lane to really want to get involved in that play, but that's ThunderTalk getting overly aggressive. Still, BLG, they do use 2 teleports to make that play, so they are going to be down in terms of map movements. Hoya still has his.
Dragon handily going over to BLG. So they'll keep stacking up those neutral objectives. Map dominance is the name of the game with this team. And we'll take that early Cloud Dragon, so that'll be nice for them. Grubs will be the focus for TT. So that's another thing that we need to talk about for TT is that they will not give up on a game. We saw it in this series already. They will just full commit as a team, even if things don't work out. And that's honestly a breath of fresh air in the LPL that I love to see. It does mean, though, they're going to sacrifice a lot here.
Yeah, they are more than willing to fight you at every corner. Hoya teleporting in under the tower. Wait, what?
He's a little bit low. Did get a nice 90 caliber net to get him away from that fight. And On doesn't have level 6 yet. Ace in the hole going to be tanked up by On. We'll just throw away the Bard emotes. So, you know, we'll throw back to On. But we did see the Grubs at least go over to TT. So they will split those 3-3, but more plates tonight.
Yeah, and this is the thing. Knight has just been accelerating ahead more and more and more. You talked about the gap between Knight and 1xN, and that is important. But in the actual mid lane matchup itself, SeTab is down by 2k. It's just not in a good position at all. But, as you highlighted, and were absolutely correct to do so, it is a Yone. And there are moments where Yones finally do nothing, 3 items, pop off, find that team fight where you get that fate sealed that really does just destroy the opponents, can crush them down all in one go. Now we're a while away from that. You're going to have to hang on to this game for a long time for ThunderTalk to be able to get there, but it is something you can look towards at least.
It absolutely is, and I think that's definitely something they want to look forward to. I mean, there's a reason why they either fell for the trap or just wanted to get this one for themselves on that blue side, but got a long time coming for that, and until then, you're at the whims of BLG, one of the super teams in the LPL, finally showing a little bit of what was expected of them. Bringing a little bit of setup in mid lane now, though, as 1xN is still trying to farm up. His farm game has been nutty. I mean, he's almost at 10 CS a minute.
Yeah, he's just absorbing everything he can. Try to take some turret plates as well, so it is in a good spot overall. The Youngtail's arrows completed. And so once we get into these actual team fights, it's going to be interesting to see, because despite the fact we're 30 minutes into the game, we've often seen team fights by this point in games. We actually haven't in this one. Where will that
We've
first
just seen
big
Knight
team-
killing everybody.
Yeah, basically. I mean, maybe there would have been team fights if Knight hadn't have assassinated everybody before we even got to them, but it is a team fight composition out of ThunderTalk. We haven't yet got to see Hoya get into the backline, pop that Slicey Maelstrom, see what he can do there.
We need to see the combo from TT. They drafted it for a reason. They have a lot of team fighting potential. Just not getting picked off is the biggest factor here. They're losing a lot of damage on their tier 2 bot lane there from the siege of BLG. They'll try to take a little bit more from this top side in terms of presence and pressure. Looking at the turrets up here, potentially looking for a dive. But Bin going to be unfazed and untouched here. So TT, if we're in a situation like this, is this beneficial for them? Because BLG are no slouches when it comes to some scaling factors on their side as well.
A bit of fighting right here. I think that you've just kind of got to wait this game out right here as ThunderTalk. You need those 3 items on SeTab. You need them on Hoya. And it's not like you've got anybody here that particularly falls off massively. Whereas, you're much less strong later on in the game on something like the Kalista. The Kalista's at its peak at this kind of point in the game. It still does work, but it's nowhere near as strong. I think ThunderTalk, they can rely on that. They can look towards the later stage of the game, and they can also think about the fact that they have, for the most part, been the better team fighting team between these two. And so once we have those items, then we can find our team fight. Of course, a lot of that relies on you getting to that point.
See if the journey is going to be worth the wait. They got about 45 seconds for another dragon. Would just be another notch in the belt for BLG on their way to that soul and complete objective domination in terms of dragon. He does steal that one away, at least Beichuan. And now, as well, in mid lane, a little bit of focus on 1xN, dodging away from the Glacial Prison. I love to see those kinds of moves from 1xN. He is feeling himself, and if anybody's going to step up, it's got to be him.
Ooh. The fact that you've already lost your cleanse there and are still stepping up, using those fancy feet, keeping the flash. Now that is huge. Not having your flash is going to be an almost death sentence right here for 1xN. You can see just how much can be thrown at him. Wei and On can both go leaping into the backline and try to kill this key carry for ThunderTalk, but with the flash up and available, keeping it for yourself is an extra level of safety that you're really going to need. Now, like you said, Drake has now spawned. You're going to need to get mid lane control as well, so ThunderTalk, they're going to be super late to this one if they even go for it at all. No, just recalling out. Not going to bother.
I think a 2-item Knight is sitting there with a black cleaver, completed second at 15 minutes and like 30 seconds or something. Like, oof. That feels real bad. We'll see now 1xN stepping up to try to get some push onto the turret, but it just feels like there is not a real answer, especially tonight in a side lane. But Herald might be a different conversation, as TT have already started that one up. It is under vision. BLG were moving over, but TT will actually strike out on their own and take a Herald for themselves.
And they managed to. Now, I do wonder a little bit how much that is to the graces of Knight deciding to go bot lane and pick himself up some
You're
farm.
welcome.
Yeah, the second that Knight arrives in these team fights, it just changes the dynamic. It really does. 2 items completed this early on. So very strong. Still, you get that Herald. It's going to be another objective in the back pocket. We'll have to see how ThunderTalk are able to use it. If you can actually grab a turret, if they can grab the mid lane tier 1, that would unlock the map a lot for these coming team fights.
Wait, oh no, SeTab, he's a little bit caught. He has Beichuan. Okay,
He's got friends.
Because they saw them moving, they will not go for that full-on engage. SeTab having flash, couple tools available to him. It's another just ships in the night moment as TT trying to keep safe their base. They do have the culling used in mid lane to push under turret. Feather loses a chunk of his health there. They will stop the siege, though, for now. And that's something else to think about for BLG. Their siege is not very good. Their go-in potential is very good. But just standing on the outer edge and all the range that's coming through for TT, it's very difficult.
It really is. And 1xN Feather, they can do a decent amount of poke as well. You're really reliant on Bin to be able to land a few of those harpoons, see if it can work out that way around. But yeah, it is a little bit trickier. They're also going to be pretty slow at getting on top of these turrets. Once they're on the turrets, they'll go a lot quicker. But yeah, it's going to be hard. Hoya.
Hoya gets away barely with the flash, the Grand Starfall.
Wait.
They've still got him. Although On might just bite the bullet here. Beichuan going around the corner. On is down. TP coming through, though. That's multi-TPs from both sides. This fight is not done. Round 2 kicking off soon. SeTab trying to make a difference for once in this game. He's going forward, but now he's going out. Equalizer, the red carpet for BLG to steam forward and push onto Hoya. His life is ripped from his body as L takes him down. Now the rest of BLG are surrounding them. Knight going for more. One more auto. He gets chained. The culling. Not going to get the last bullet there, but continuing in the rest of the fight. Bin is showing his own muscles, and SeTab goes down to Gigabit for a double kill.
Oh, and 1xN is now spotted as well. I don't think this is going to
like
be a survive. Oh, he's so
My young Padawan,
low.
why must it come to this? Knight guns him down, and Knight is running away with this game.
And Knight gets handed those kills early on in the game. It's an over-aggressive level 1 that maybe spells the doom right here for ThunderTalk, and that was a decent team fight. They're able to get the initial turn onto On, but it doesn't matter in the end. Once Knight is able to open up, deal his damage, there's almost nothing that can be done. 1xN doesn't deal enough. SeTab isn't able to hit that Fate Seal that he really needed. We'll watch it back, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter in the end that they're able to pick up this initial kill onto On. Just watch Knight throughout this fight. He can't deal his damage yet. Now he's able to actually turn around, see that there is going to be a teleport come in and open up. And as SeTab, you don't even manage to land the Fate Seal onto Knight, so he's just sat there free hitting. Nice equalizer to help things off as well. And yeah, it's pretty much all she wrote. Elk tries to do some fancy stuff on the backline, but you're not a 2-item.
And look, like, he's just so confident. He's stepping up into awkward positions just to continue taking the fight. And now TT, their backs were against the wall, but now they're being crushed into that very wall. BLG's might is no slouch. They will just take it to them. And it's been 3 games of dominion for BLG, led by their man with the golden left hand in Knight, and they are going to continue pushing. They are looking at mid lane, and they are looking to assert that lower bracket run.
This is the game of dreams right here for Knight. This is exactly what BLG wanted on their next run. They want to go all the way. They want the title. Anything less is a disappointment for this organization. Well, this is the statement game that they need to really show, hey, we've had struggles with ThunderTalk, but we are going to best our kryptonite right here, and nobody else seems to have been able to do as much damage to BLG as ThunderTalk have. This might be BLG back on true form.
Playoff BLG is just a different beast.
It's just
it's actually at internationals, at domestic tournaments, it hits different. And we see their level. It might take a game to wake them up, slap them up a little bit, see what's going on, but when they do, this is one of the mightiest teams that we have to offer in League of Legends.
And you're carrying through so many different people. You know, it hasn't just been the same person getting the MVPs time on time on time. It's everybody stepping up, doing their thing. Knight has had a couple of good games, but some quiet ones as well. Well, all of a sudden, he pops off, gets a couple kills, using it to great effect. And I would just like for us to track this through the rest of this game. This would be the 3rd game in a row that Elk doesn't die.
Oh my god, that would actually be so insane of a stat for them. But man, I mean, it is an honor to watch this guy Knight play the video game that we all love so much. Every time he hits the rift, it is just a pleasure to watch, and it's crazy to think how many different organizations he has brought that Silver Dragon Cup to. I mean, through the likes of JDG, Top Esports, now BLG, like, this guy's track record is insanity, and we bring it up all the time.
He is easily one of the best mid laners in the world, constantly fighting for that best mid laner in the world spot, and I mean, games like these, series like these, they kind of show you why. These go on the highlight reels forever. 3 items now completed, and you can just keep the pressure up, right? You can split push on this Lucian right now pretty much with immunity. It would take 3-4 members of ThunderTalk to come and try and kill him. Sure, you don't want to die, that's a big shutdown sat on top of you, but the amount of time taken for ThunderTalk would just not be worth it. They would lose so much across the rest of the map, and it really does feel like the map is closing in right now on ThunderTalk.
And it sucks to go down like this. If they do end up going down, miracle comeback's always possible. But TT's run till now has been nothing short of wonder. It's been amusement. It's been awesome. It's been a joy. But BLG are here on business. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Nothing short of greatness is that Silver Dragon Cup for them. They cannot falter anywhere. And now, looking to put the finishing touches on TT. The comp just enables them to play so confidently. And they will continue to do so. They're pushing up top side. They're looking for a tier 2 up here with Bin's side lane push.
Hey,
they just go for it.
Doesn't hurt either.
You can see it coming from a mile away. 1xn does see it coming, does get out. The root's going to connect. This is all under tower, by the way, and they're still taking them down. Knight has decided the tower doesn't get to exist anymore, but he's being engaged on by SeTab. They still have the Atacon GAs, and they know it. They're going for the turret. Here goes that extra combo, as they won't be able to go for it. They won't pull the trigger onto 1xn, and they will pull back, but they came away with the tier 2.
Yeah, you get the tier 2 and you only give away 1 kill, not the end of the world. It's only 200 gold with that Atacon buff, and this is the thing that top teams do. Once they get themselves that Voracious Atacon, they don't int with it. They don't just fly into the backline and not care. They use it to exert more pressure onto an objective than you would otherwise be able to, but don't overpush. Do pull back when they need to save themselves from giving extra gold over to their opponents. And right now it feels like ThunderTalk are getting squeezed out of this game. They are back so far in terms of gold, 8,000 at 24 minutes into this game. And we're only just about getting to the point at which the Baron is going to be here. Voracious buff has dropped off. It's now all about the big purple worm.
It is indeed, and BLG just feel like they could take it at any time, honestly. I mean, TT, I'm glad to see them stick their, head in the right direction of keeping to themselves, keeping this grouping going, fighting where Knight isn't on the map, and trying to find a way forward here. The problem is some of those bigger questions to be asked will be, like you said, that Baron being up, the next dragon being Soul for BLG, and uncomebackable win conditions going through for them as Beichuan just gets completely caught. He was trying to be sneaky, but unfortunately, he will have to burn his flash to make it out. Feather and 1xn, they're coming up on the rear. Hoya going for the slicing maelstrom. Can they do it? Knight is getting taken down by SeTab, but it's TT. This is the moment. This is it. 1xn is free firing on the side. 1xn, he's got their hope.
Oh, SeTab misses.
No. Oh, no. It's all gone to hell in a handbasket, and 1xn and Feather, this duo from JDG's LDL champions, are not gonna be able to do it. They will be put down by BLG one final time, and BLG look to end this one.
This feels like it's gonna be the final nail in the coffin. We've still got a little bit more of the game left to go. Baron needed to be able to finish off this one, but that was the team fight you needed. At this point in the game, that was the team fight that you needed to win. Beichuan gets jumped, but it doesn't matter actually. You survive for so long, and it's Hoya on the teleport right here who manages to get into the back line of this fight. We don't see it here, but actually... Oh, Knight misses.
Knight got styled on.
That's actually pretty good, but it doesn't matter in the end, right? Hoya gets into the back line and does good things for the team, but just doesn't quite have enough damage. And this... Woof. I mean, ow. That one hurts quite a lot to watch. It probably wouldn't have changed things, but it is very indicative of this Yone performance. Banned out so much by BLG, and it just hasn't worked.
It just hasn't, which feels so bad. I mean, to be fair, if they were on an even playing field, yeah, absolutely. There's a big difference. But the fact that Knight came into this game like a newborn baby with 4 kills, just right out the bat, makes it so difficult to play against, even in these kinds of moves, even on a champion like Yone. And now BLG, they're circling TT here. They're looking at multi-lane pushes. They've got Ben inside lane. Hoya still looking for a big combo with his slicing maelstrom, but these Baron minions, they will not quit. They will keep pushing.
Got to push through the mid and the bot lane right here. Top lane kind of being ignored, not particularly interested in doing a 1-3-1 right here, but it doesn't really matter. You're going to get this push going. The waves synced up as well, pretty good. And the tower just going to get melted through. SeTab can find that in, but Elk's also got a Banshees.
Yeah. Oh, the Glacial Prison on 1xn. Oh, it gets his cleanse. That's so quick on the trigger. TT very much on the back foot here, but 1xN not at least scared in the moment. As the bot lane turret's getting lower and lower. Bin gonna get engaged on by SeTab, doing a decent amount, but oh my god, that overheat damage. SeTab is gonna be popped. That turret gonna be popped, and TT, they need to find something to hold on to because their base is crumbling underneath their feet.
Yeah, there's still a full minute left on this Baron power play right here for BLG. They've been able to pick themselves up. Hang on, there's the engage. Nah, it just doesn't happen. They might at least be able to stop their bot lane inhibitor from falling. That would be big, but the fact that they're just bleeding objectives at this point, they can't step into their own jungle to be able to pick up anything from in there. The gold just isn't happening right now for ThunderTalk, down.
Oh, SeTab.
So
oh, he might just die anyways. Knight not able to get the calling back down, but we know who's the big dog on campus here.
Oh yeah, Knight has styled on everybody this game. Elk going deathless for his 3rd game in a row right here. It's been night and day, truly, between game 1 and the rest of the games of this series.
It's crazy to me that game 1 even happened. Beichuan on an unkilled Vi, dumpstering all of BLG, and then boom, boom, and now boom! Getting BLG's rebuttals in dominant fashion. Like you said, I mean, Elk is still unkilled through 3 games in a best-of-5 Fearless series in the LPL. How insane is that? And if he's not the bar, I don't know what is. On is able to take Beichuan in a 1v1. Luckily, he's got some teammates to back him up there, but BLG, they're just looking around the map for what they can take.
Yeah, sign of the times right there. Hoya looking for a big flank right here.
Is this the last-ditch effort? Is this it?
You gotta try. If he gets spotted here, though, it's all over. He's got himself a nice little pocket. Again, Elk has got a spell shield up, though, so you can't even land the initial stun. You just gotta go for it, Hoya. It's a long walk.
Okay, they got TP. They brought Hoya. This is it.
Work.
TT, your season on the line. This is the moment. Beichuan, he has nothing left to give. There's nothing for TT here. BLG wiped the floor with them time and time again in this series. Here's the Grand Starfall. He's going mid lane. SeTab's trying to get the back line, but he dies in transition back to his body. And Knight stepping forward now with the culling. He's flashing. He's dashing. And Knight's the one, the only. As he's taking him down, the turret will finally clean him up. And through it all, it was through JDG, through Top Esports, through BLG. There's one constant, and it is that man, Knight. And BLG will take a 3-1 victory and continue their lower bracket run.
The rest of the LPL is going to be watching on here. Everybody left in the playoffs was going to be hoping that ThunderTalk could do it, could eliminate...
Somebody take them out, man.
Yeah, get rid of them. Get rid of the Titans right here of the LPL. It doesn't happen. And in fact, we get to see this next level of BLG. They looked shaky up in their first matchup versus ThunderTalk. They looked much better up against Weibo, but there's still a couple of issues. Now this is the BLG that we know and love. This is the BLG that you've seen on the international stage, wrecking your favorite team from around the world, right? Here they are, they're here to play, and like you said, they're just different during the playoffs.
Yeah, it's just a different beast. Even that game number 1, a little bit of a wake-up call for them, but when they do wake up, it is such a dominant form. There's a reason why this roster stuck together, why they offloaded Shun and stuck with Wei. Consistency matters to this team, and sometimes they have happy games. We've known that of them for multiple years now that this team has been together, but when they're on, they are on, and playoffs just seems like the right time for that combination to come together. Knight having an impeccable performance on the Lucian early into the game, snowballing that, but in actuality, it's those entire last 3 games. Unkilled from Elk, domination from Bin on his Jack. Like, we just saw quintessential BLG.
Yeah. How do you not die 3 games in a row as an ADC? That's genuinely crazy. I mean...
insane.
How? Because... this isn't solo queue where people forget that the ADC does damage. There were multiple team fights where everything is thrown from ThunderTalk at Elk, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. There's nothing you could do. Hey, in that last game, to be fair, if you were throwing everything at Elk, then Knight was just going to slay you. That was definitely his game. But I've been super impressed with BLG throughout this series in that there's been carries all across the board. Everybody's had their game, been on that signature Jax. We just saw it with that lovely performance right there. Lucian mid lane for Knight. And then the Jhin, everybody had that great moment that they could really look back on and be proud of from this series. And if BLG don't draft like that in game 1, maybe this is a 3-0, right? That draft,
Yeah.
let's not do that again. And if they don't, I don't know. BLG, they're definitely coming for the crown.
Yeah, if you're wondering what that draft was, honestly, the pivotal points were Nocturne Aurora as a mid-jungle combo. did not go well.
It didn't happen.
But hey, they didn't look back after that one. I think in a situation where TT, we'll have to give our commiserations to them. Their season is over. We will see them in spring. But what a run. What a damn run. Like, that was some of the funnest League of Legends this entire year. They were all TT games.
Yeah. If you want what you've been promised from the LPL, right? That it's bloody, that it's fast, that it's all about the team fights, that we're just going to go in at all times, then you should be watching ThunderTalk games. They're so much fun. I'm genuinely devastated to have them knocked out at this point. But what a team to go out versus, you know? I mean, hey, ThunderTalk, they should be proud of themselves, and I'm super excited to see them again in the next split.
Yeah, me too. I still have huge hopes and high hopes for 1xN and Feather. I think this combo gave Elk and On a run for their money in a lot of situations. Longevity-wise, nah, not so much. But, hey, in a lot of situations, it's nice to see 1xN still be so confident. Some of the pieces, some of the drafts definitely coming back to bite TT. But it was a hell of a run nonetheless, and they upset the bracket in so many ways. So shout-outs to them, but we also got to give our flowers where they're due to Knight himself and BLG as a whole. They started off this last game very dominantly, and they did not turn around. They did not think and ask questions or directions. They just went forward.
ThunderTalk, why? On this specific one, why? Why were they here? You know, this is not their jungle. And this sets the game up for failure immediately. I get trying to find that initial sneaky kill early on, but they overchase it, get a little bit overconfident. Like you said, so devastating that the initial kill onto Elka doesn't end up happening. It baits 1xN into a horrible position there as well, and from that moment on,
I feel so
as much
bad.
as we were hopeful that there could be a comeback, it felt like I could hear Silver Scrapes shriveling up and dying in that moment. We weren't going to get a game number 5 after that.
Yeah. And pretty unfortunate last outing for SeTab as well. It was a really, really rough Yone game. I know they'll look back and maybe take some of these learnings against BLG and against JDG to their next setup in spring. But BLG, I know everybody on Twitter is going to be feeling the same way. It's like, why did you have to lose that first game? Why did you have to look like that? We want you to be dominant. We want you to be the super team that we know and love. And sometimes they just struggle showing it a little bit. But this team, nonetheless, has some of the biggest names that the LPL has to offer. And I think going forward, they're a beast to deal with in the lower bracket. And the fact that they're going to be like the executioners for the entire bracket is going to be insane.
Yeah, if you're in the upper bracket right now and you want to make it to the nice big shiny finals event, you do not want to be knocked down into the losers bracket and have to face up against BLG. They feel like such a looming threat for all of the remaining teams. It doesn't particularly feel like anybody left is going to give them that much trouble. AO maybe, you know, AO looking really fine for themselves. There's a couple teams, but I don't know. BLG, man, they're so good. They've been so good for so very long, and they're just going to keep going, I think. There's a lot more series left for them to talk about. We've been highlighting it throughout the day, right? You win here, and there's a lot left to play. I don't know if we can have a look at the bracket at some point, because they've got a lot of series left if they do want to make it to that international.
Yeah, we're going to take a look at that here now as well. Shout out to Kelsey Mazel, producer, for updating the graphic itself, but it's BLG streaming forward as they have 3 more best of 5s to win if they are to take that Silver Dragon Cup.
It's a lot of best of 5s that you play. You play 3 in your regular split. Now you've already played 2 at this point. 3 more left if you want to move on. Lift
Bow
the
down.
trophy. Yeah.
My man Knight, the king of kings.
He was way too good. way too good in this game. The second that you give him the slightest inch, he will take the whole dang mile and everything else you could possibly have left for him to. Genuinely incredible performance from Knight. No notes on that one specifically, but throughout the whole series, he was looking great too.
That was a pleasure to cast. I'm sad we didn't get to go to 5 games, but the good thing is, all you at home, you don't have to fret because we got more League of Legends coming right at you, and it is a giga banger. It is going to be NIP versus top